is Richard Finkel. I'm a pediatric neurologist focusing on children with neurologic disorders. St. Jude is doing a particularly good job because being a cancer-focused hospital, they have a lot of children who are being treated with very powerful drugs that reduce their immune defenses, and they need to take particular precautions to avoid children getting any infection, especially something as serious as COVID-19. There's been a task force, and they've been working on this daily since about mid-March. We really don't know what the increased risk is from COVID-19. If you have sickle cell disease, we know it's going to be increased, but we don't know how much. So we're taking these universal precautions, I would say, for children in general, but in particular those that have a chronic medical condition. It's been a huge opportunity to be able to remotely connect with our patients at home. Things like telemedicine are often governed by the rules for each state. So you need to have a medical license to practice in that state. And if you were to go across into the neighboring state, unless you had a medical license there, you're not allowed under normal circumstances to be able to practice medicine there. They've relaxed those rules on a temporary basis. Say for 90 days, you can apply you can get a license to be able to do a telemedicine type interaction. It's not only just talking to the parent or the patient, but we can actually visualize them. And in some cases, it's simply connecting and asking how they're doing. But in most cases, we're able to actually do some sort of rudimentary assessment. But we also do it for the clinical trials. And we've needed to be creative there. Fortunately, the pharmaceutical companies are recognizing that we just can't do everything that we normally would in the clinic setting. I'm anticipating in the future there'll be kind of a blended model where there'll be some visits where, yes, you still have to go to see the doctor in the office or the clinic setting. And then there'll be other visits that you can do remotely. So hopefully there'll be some sort of blended model, and we'll be able to apply what we've learned through the telemedicine to be able to perhaps lessen the number of visits that are really needed to come to the doctor's office. Because for so many parents, this means traveling a substantial distance, and it's a burden to them as well as to the child. So I think that will be the main thing that we will learn from this. It's a good time to make sure you're connecting through social media with other families. Most of what I learn, and it's not just in this COVID crisis, but in general, a lot of what I learn is from parents. They say, hey, did you know this? This works. What about that? And a lot of that interaction comes from one parent to another through social media. I think there's a risk there because what works for one child may not work for another child. So you have to, I think, sometimes filter out so much that you can get through the social media and try to determine what's appropriate for your child or for yourself if you're living with a rare disease. Sometimes there's too much information, but there's a lot of good stuff out there and some clues and hints that one parent can provide to another parent. And I think at a community level, that can be a great level of information and support.